We're now ready to begin the 30-minute routine. Stand near the front of your mat. Distribute the weight evenly across each foot. Lift the muscles above the knees, drop your sit bones slightly, lengthen the arms so the fingers move toward the feet, and stand tall. Find your breath. And we begin the first sun salutation now. With the big inhale, take your arms up over the head, look up at your hands. Exhale, fold forward. If your hands don't reach the floor, it's okay. Let them come to the shins if you need to. Then inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take your feet back and lower all the way down. With an inhale, lift the chest with a full breath. Exhale, that was the upward dog position, and as you push back to the downward dog, you then hold for 5 breaths. Your feet should be about 6 inches apart. Full deep breathing. If you have particularly tight hamstrings, you may find it necessary to bend the knees slightly in the beginning and work towards straightening the legs and pushing the heels toward the floor. Otherwise, the legs are straight, the arms are straight, and the palms are pressing into the floor. That's already about 4 breaths. And 5. With an inhale, step forward, take both feet forward, straighten the spine, look up. Exhale, lower the head. Inhale, stand all the way up, take your arms up over your head, and then exhale, lower the arms to your sides. Keep your focus on your breathing, and we're going to move into another sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, once again, look up. Exhale, take your feet back. You can step back or jump back if you wish, and lower to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest with a full breath. Exhale, downward facing dog position. If you become tired in the downward dog position, if it feels like too much on your arms, you could come down to your hands and knees, pushing the hips back, and rest in that position while we're counting to 5. Otherwise, you remain in the downward dog and breathe deep. That should already be about 3, 4. Strong breathing. Listen to the breath. Keep that as your focal point. And 5. Now bend your knees, and you're either going to jump forward or step forward. Straighten your legs and look up. Exhale, lower the head. Inhale, stand all the way up with a full breath. Hands touch. Exhale, arms to your sides. And one more time. Inhale with a full breath. Take your arms up over your head. Exhale, fold forward. Remember, it doesn't matter if your hands reach the floor or not. Just focus on the breathing. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take your hands to the floor and then step or jump back and lower. Inhale, lift the chest, full breath. Exhale, push your hips up to the sky. Once again, we're holding the downward facing dog for 5 full deep breaths. Keep the quadricep muscles, the muscles above the knees, lifting as you press the heels toward the floor. Press your palms into the floor and spread your fingers wide. Keep the breath rhythmic, full and deep. That should already be about 4 breaths. Keep your neck relaxed and long as well. And one more, and 5. Listen to the breathing. Once again, you're going to come forward, either jumping or stepping, straightening the spine as you straighten the legs and look up. Exhale, lower the head. Inhale, stand all the way up with a full breath, the hands touch. Exhale, arms to the sides. And we're now ready for Surya Namaskar B. Once again, the breath is full and deep. You bend the knees with an inhale, take your arms up over your head. Exhale, fold forward as you straighten the legs and lower your head. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take your feet back, either jumping or stepping, and slowly lower to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, keep your legs strong in the upward dog, then exhale, push the hips back to the downward dog. Now you want to pivot the left foot and take a big step with the right foot. Then take your arms up over your head with the big inhale. Exhale, fold forward till the hands come to the floor, step back, and lower all the way down. Inhale, lift to the upward facing dog position. Exhale, push the hips back to the downward facing dog position. Now we're ready for the other side. Pivot the right foot, step forward with the left. take your arms up over your head with a full breath. Then exhale, step back and lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, if your arms are getting tired here, go ahead and bend your knees and sit back on your heels and pause in that position while we count to 5. That should already be about 2 breaths. And 3. Keep the spine long. 4 breaths. And 1 more. That's 5. Once again, come forward. You can jump or step, either way. Straighten the legs, look up. Exhale, lower the head. Bend your knees as you inhale. Take your arms up over your head with a full breath. Then exhale, straighten your legs, and your arms come to your sides. You should be feeling nice heat building inside now. We're ready for another one. Bend your knees. Inhale, full breath, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, lowering the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take your feet back and lower all the way down. Strong legs as you inhale and lift to upward dog, and then press the hips back to the sky for downward dog. Pivot your left foot, step forward with the right. Big inhale, take your arms up over the head, look up at your hands. Exhale, fold forward, take your hands down, step back, and lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, upward dog, push the hips up, downward dog position. Now step forward with the other foot. The left foot comes forward, the back foot, the right foot is flat on the floor. Your arms come up over the head, full breath. Exhale then, your hands come down, step back, empty the lungs as you lower to the floor. Upward facing dog position, inhale. Downward facing dog position, exhale. Strong breathing. Both legs are active. You're pushing the heels toward the floor, and the entire palm is pressing into the floor. Remember, if it feels like too much stretch on your hamstrings, bend the knees slightly, or if your arms are getting tired, come all the way down to your hands and knees and push your hips back toward your heels. Otherwise, you're still in the downward dog, and we're on breath number 5. Once again, take both feet forward, step or jump, and look up. Exhale, lower the head. Bend your knees, inhale, full breath, arms come up over the head. Exhale, legs straighten, arms come to your sides. And we're now ready for the first standing posture, Padangusthasana. Step the feet about hips width apart. Place your hands on your waist. Inhale, lift your chest, look up, then exhale and fold forward. If you can reach your feet, grab the big toes. If not, hold behind the knees or behind the ankles. Then inhale, look up, and exhale, fold forward. Whether you're holding your toes or behind the legs, both legs should be active and working. If you feel discomfort in the lower back, it's wise to bend the knees slightly and breathe deep. That should be about 3 breaths already. Got to keep the spine long. Don't round the lower back too much. 4. The stretch should be more on the hamstrings than on the lower back. And 5. Inhale, look up. Exhale, take your hands to your waist. Inhale, stand all the way up. And with an exhale, take your feet back together. Now we're ready for Utthita Trikonasana. Step to the right, and you want to have one of your legs' length distance between your feet. Turn the right foot out, and the left foot, the back foot, turns in slightly. Bend at the waist as you extend toward the right foot with your right hand. Initially, you may have to leave that right hand on the shin, and over time, work it toward the big toe. You want to keep the upper body rolling out over the right leg as you breathe deep. The left hand is pointing up toward the sky, and that's where your gaze is. That should already be about 3 breaths. Keep the upper body rolling open as you open the chest toward the sky. 4. And 1 more full deep breath. Keep the spine long. Both legs are active now. And 5. Inhale, come all the way up. Change sides by pivoting, turning the right foot in and the left foot out. Once again, extend across your shoulders. Reach out with the left hand toward the left shin. Once you have the hand on the shin, you can then begin to work the hand down toward the foot or leave it where it is, whichever is most appropriate for you. This is your practice. Focus on your breathing. Don't worry about getting the postures. They'll come in time. Stay broad across your shoulders. Your gaze is up at the right hand now. Both legs are still active. That's already 4 breaths. And one more, 5. Let the inhale lift you. Then turn the feet parallel. Then exhale and step, feet together, facing the front of your mat once again. We're now ready for Utthita Parsvakonasana. Once again, step to the right. You want a wider, longer stance now. Turn the right foot out and bend your right knee. Check your stance now. See that the right knee remains over the right heel and the back leg is straight. Lower your right forearm to the top of your right knee and your left arm beside your head so that you create a straight line from the outer edge of your left foot up the side of your body, shooting out the fingertips of the right hand. Roll the chest open to the sky. You should be breathing fully and deeply. That should already be about 3 breaths. Focus on the breathing. Keep the spine long. That's 4. And one more breath, 5. Once again, come up with the big inhale, straighten the right leg, turn the right foot in, the left foot out. Bend the left knee, check your stance, be sure the knee stays above the heel, lower the left forearm to the top of the left knee, right arm beside the head. You want a straight line from the outer edge of the right foot, moving along the side of your body, shooting out the fingertips of your right hand. Keep the chest rolling open to the sky and breathe deep. That should already be about 3 breaths. If you're more flexible and you wish to, you can move deeper into this posture by taking that left hand to the floor outside the left foot. Otherwise, remain where you are and breathe deep. Inhale, come all the way up, coming out of the posture, taking the feet parallel. Then as you exhale, take your feet together, facing the front of your mat once again. We're now ready for Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Raise your right knee and grab it with both hands and lift the knee. Once this is comfortable enough, you can move into the next phase, which is taking the right big toe with 2 fingers of the right hand. At first the leg may be bent, and then you'll straighten it over time. Breathe deep. Stay at whichever phase is appropriate for you. The focus again is the breathing and your balance. That should be about 3 breaths already. Full deep breathing. That's your focus. 4 and 5. Now bend the right leg and slowly lower it to the floor. Now raise the left. Bend the knee and grab it with 2 hands and lift. Either remain there or take the big toe with 2 fingers of the left hand and then work towards straightening that left leg. If that's too much, leave it bent. Keep the supporting leg, the right leg, active. Don't lock it back, but try to keep it straight. Breathe deeply. Keep your focus and the rhythm in your breath. That should already be about 5 breaths. Now release the left leg and slowly lower it to the floor. Now with an inhale, take both arms up over your head. Exhale, fold forward, lower your head. Inhale, look up. Exhale, take your feet back, just as though you're doing a sun salutation, and lower to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now pivot the left foot and step forward with the right. Take your arms up over your head with a full breath and look up. We're in Virabhadrasana, the warrior posture. Right leg is at a 90-degree angle, the back leg is straight and strong, and your spine is perpendicular to the floor as your gaze is looking up at your thumbs. That should be about 4 breaths, strong breathing, and 5. Now straighten the right leg and pivot. Turn the right foot in, the left foot out, and bend the left knee. Once again, look up to your thumbs. Keep the left leg at a 90-degree angle. Drop your sit bones so you don't collapse too much in the lower back. Keep the spine lifting and extend up through your arms and all the way up through your fingers and breathe deeply. That's already about 4 and 5. Now keep the front leg bent and open your arms so that they're in line with the legs, and turn your gaze out over the left hand. The upper right pelvis is moving back. The inner left knee moves forward. You're breathing full and deep. That's already 3 breaths. The spine is perpendicular to the floor, and your shoulders are broad. And 5. Straighten the left leg. Pivot the feet. Change sides as you bend the right leg, and you're looking out over your right hand and breathing deep. Strong, full breath. That's already 2 breaths. 3. Broad across the shoulders. Keep the spine long. 4. And 5. Take both hands down, step back, and lower all the way to the floor. You should be feeling a lot of heat by now. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now it's time to come all the way through to sitting. You can step forward or hop forward and come all the way through into Dandasana. The hands press into the floor directly beside the hips. Push your heels forward and press the back of the knees down into the floor as you pull the toes back toward your head and the chin drops toward your chest. The spine should be long and the chest open with the shoulders rolling down your back. Breathe deeply. That should already be about 3 breaths. Remember to keep both legs working and the arms pressing down into the floor. And 5. Now, inhale, take your arms up over your head. As you exhale, fold forward, reaching toward the feet. If you grab them, hold on to the big toes. If you can't reach the feet, go ahead and leave your hands on the shins or even near the knees if you need to. That's perfectly fine. Try to keep your lower back lifting. Feel the stretch on the hamstrings. Whatever phase you're at, lengthen the spine, keep the breath full and deep, and keep both legs active. That should be about 4 and 5 breaths. With a big inhale, lengthen the spine and look up. Open the heart, exhale, and release. We're now ready for our first vinyasa. Cross your legs, take your hands in front. Take the weight over your hands, lift your backside off the floor, and then step back 1 foot at a time and lower to the floor. Then lift to the upward facing dog, and then press back to the downward facing dog. Then come all the way back through by stepping forward, dropping your hips, and bringing the legs through. We're ready for Janu Shirshasana A. Bend the right knee and bring the right foot close in to the inner left thigh. Keep the left leg straight. There should be a 90-degree angle between the knees. Now bend at the waist and take both hands forward toward the left foot. If you can't reach the foot, that's fine. Leave your hands on the shin or even near the knee if you need to. But keep your focus on the breathing and the left leg working as you push that left heel forward. Breathe deeply. That should already be about 3 breaths. Full rhythmic breathing. Inhaling and exhaling with complete awareness. And 1 more breath makes 5. With an inhale, lift the chest, look up, exhale, release. Straighten your right leg, and then change sides. Bend the left leg. Take the left foot in toward the inner right thigh. There's a 90-degree angle between your knees. Both hands move forward toward the foot or the shin or the knee, whatever is appropriate for you. Then inhale, look up, and exhale, fold forward and breathe. Remember, this is your practice. Don't go beyond your limits. Work within your limits, yet also challenge yourself a bit. Challenge yourself to focus more fully on the breath, to keep the heat, and to keep that rhythm, and turn your practice into a meditation. Breathe deeply. That should be already about 5 breaths. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release. Once again, we have a vinyasa. Cross your legs, take your hands in front. You can either jump back or step back 1 leg at a time, and then move through your upward dog and downward dog. If these vinyasas are too much, just leave them out for now, and just wait until we come to the other side. Otherwise, you've now come back forward from your downward-facing dog and moved both legs through. Now, we're ready for Marichyasana A. Bend the right knee, take the right foot in line with the right buttocks. Raise the right arm, and then extend forward. Press that right arm against the right leg and pull the chest through. That's the first phase. Keep the left leg working. Eventually, you'll wrap that right arm around the right leg and reach back and clasp the left hand. If that's too much, don't worry about clasping the hands, but keep that right arm working against the right leg to pull the chest through. Either way, you're extending with the chest, working the left leg, and breathing deep. That should already be about 4 breaths and 5. Now, with an inhale, you're going to lift the chest, lengthen the spine, exhale, and release that side. Now change sides, straightening the right leg, bending the left. Raise the left arm with an inhale. Exhale, bend at the waist. Press your left arm back against that left leg to pull the chest forward. Keep the right leg working. Wrap the left arm around the left leg if that is appropriate and clasp the right hand. If that's too much, just leave the arm pressing against the leg, but without clasping behind the back. Either way, your focus is on your breath and that right leg is working and your spine is long. Try not to round the lower back too much. If you had an eye in your chest, you should be extending forward with that. Now, release the left side, straighten the left leg. Again, we have a vinyasa. Cross your legs, take your hands in front, and jump or step back and lower all the way to the floor. Upward dog and downward dog. Remember, if this is too much, you could leave this part out and just wait for the next posture. Otherwise, come on back through, and we're ready for Marichyasana C. Bend the right knee. Take the right hand on the floor behind you. Bring the left arm across between the right knee and the chest. Press the left arm or the left elbow against the outer right knee, and then lift the spine in a spiraling motion so that right shoulder is pulling back. As you pull the chest around, your neck is long and your gaze is back over the right shoulder. Don't forget about your left leg. Keep it working too. And of course, your breath is nice and full and deep. It's already 4 breaths, feeling the spine twisting and lengthening, and 5. With an inhale, look back to the front, then exhale and release that side. Straighten the right leg. Now bend the left. We're preparing for the other side. The left hand comes to the floor behind. Bring the right arm between the left knee and your chest. Lift the spine. Look back over the left shoulder. Press that right arm or the right elbow against the outer left knee to get more length in the spine and to twist, pulling that left shoulder back. Lift all the way through the top of your head, from the base of your spine up through the top of your head. The right leg is still working, your breath is full, and that's already 5 breaths. Turn your gaze back to the front. Release that posture. Listen to your breathing. One more time, we take a vinyasa, or remember you can wait. Otherwise, you jump back, upward dog, and downward dog. And we're now ready for the boat posture, which is called Navasana. Bend your knees, take your hands behind your knees, lean back slightly and lift your feet. Remain in this position if you need to, or eventually you'll release the hands and breathe deep with the arms parallel to the floor. Full deep breathing. It's already about 2 breaths. Eventually, you'll straighten the legs in this posture. That's the full boat. Stay at whichever of these 3 phases is appropriate and keep your breath moving. That should already be about 5 breaths. Now, in between, take your hands down, cross your legs, see if you can lift your body off the floor. Even if you don't achieve the lift off, that's okay. Just make the effort, press into the floor, and then lower. Once again, we repeat the boat posture. Take your hands behind your knees, keep the lower back lifting, or release the hands, breathing deep in that position, or possibly even your legs are straight. Know your limits and don't go beyond them, but at the same time, challenge yourself to focus fully. That's 5. Once again, lift up and then lower. Now lie down on your back. There's no jump back here. We're preparing for back bending. Take your feet in toward the buttocks. If you can grab the ankles, do so. Otherwise, leave your hands on the floor. Leave your shoulders down, and then push the hips up into the sky. And breathe deep. This is a good preparation for full back bending. The breath is full and deep. Both feet are pressing fully into the floor, so you should feel the base of the big toe pressing down as both legs are active. And don't let your knees roll out. You also want to protect the neck by keeping the weight on your shoulders. And now lower your hips back to the floor. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug. Take some of that stretch out. Then one more time, lower your feet to the floor and repeat the same posture again, lifting the hips up and breathing deep. If you wish to go further, you can now take your hands to the floor and push all the way up to Urdhva Dhanurasana, the upside down bow posture. All of the same rules apply with the feet. They're pressing into the floor, the legs are strong, and the chest is open. That should already be about 4 breaths and 5. Lower all the way to the floor. Once again, bring your knees to your chest. This time roll forward and back. Come up to a sitting position. Straighten your legs and move forward into a forward bend. And breathe deep. Lengthen the spine. Take some of that backward bending out by lengthening forward and stretching the hamstrings. And release. Now, from there, just roll down onto your back, lying on your back, and bend your knees. Then lift your feet from the floor and lift your hips. First, you can just support your hips and your hands. This is a modified shoulder stand. Keep the weight on your shoulders, not on your neck. So for now, the hands are on the hips. Eventually, you'll roll the shoulders under and move the hands up to the back and lift so that the body becomes like a stick or a staff, moving straight up into the sky. You want to keep that 7th cervical vertebrae away from the floor, though, so keep the shoulders rolling under and breathe deep. If you feel too much pressure on your neck, by all means, back off from the posture or even come out of it altogether and make another attempt tomorrow. If you feel pain in any posture, back off and come back to your breath. Remember, that's the focus. Don't worry about achieving a posture. Never sacrifice the breath for a posture. Now, come out of this one by bending the knees, lowering and coming down with the feet. Then straighten your legs. Press your elbows down into the floor. Lift your chest and drop your head back for Matsyasana, the fish posture. This is the counter stretch. It now opens the chest after the shoulder stand. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Hold. Breathe deep. That's 3. Use your arms to press to help open the chest further. That's 4. And 5. Release. Once again, bring your knees to your chest. And roll back and forth and come up to a sitting position. Now, you can place your legs in lotus, half lotus, or no lotus, just with crossed legs. Place your hands on your knees, a straight spine, keep the chest fully open. Whichever of the 3 choices, lotus, half lotus, or no lotus, see that your chest is open and that you're sitting up tall, and breathe full and deep now. Inhaling and exhaling, filling the entire body with each breath. We're going to say that's already about 3 breaths. Really lengthen the breath now. We're going to stay here a few more breaths. We're going to stay over the 5 breaths here. That's already about 7. Full deep breathing. 8, 9, and 10. Now we're ready for Tolasana. Take your hands to the floor, whether in lotus, half lotus, or no lotus, and push them down and try to lift the body away from the floor. And now we're going to stay up here. I'm going to count to 10. Even if you don't achieve liftoff, make the effort and breathe deep. 1, 2, strong breathing. 3, this is a more powerful breath now. 4, look straight ahead. 5, if you need to come down, do so. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Release your legs, straighten them, engage your quadricep muscles, roll back, lie down on your back, and completely relax.